Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. Well, folks, this video actually I was asked to do just for an institution, a hedge fund actually, but I decided to just do it and release it to the public. I think that's the fair way to do it. They wanted to know my views on the overall market, so I'm going to give it to you all now. But this again was asked by a key hedge fund out there to give my analysis on. So here it is, folks. Bottom line is markets are trading up today a little bit, not huge, but again, follow through from Janet Yellen's dovish comments yesterday afternoon when she gave that speech around just afternoon, 12:20, 12:30 p.m. Notice the market starting to move lower. This is very interesting. First of all, the first thing I noticed this morning, and again, I'm giving it to you as I would tell the institution, the hedge fund that I was talking to here. Bottom line is, if you looked at certain charts this morning, there was a signal you might get a little bit of a rollover. What was that signal? Well, if you looked at Netflix this morning, all right, Netflix opened higher, and within 10 minutes, it was flat to negative on the day. All right, if you looked at Tesla, these are leaders, remember. Look at Tesla. Opened higher, fell right down. Now, remember, this is in the opposition of a market that actually was up and staying near the highs. In fact, we made a higher high here right around 11 in the morning. And if you go back to like the Tesla chart, look at where Tesla was trading by 11 in the morning. All the way down here, had fallen tremendously. Same thing with Netflix. Look at Netflix. It was already well negative by the time the S&P made a high. So those are signals. Those are what we call divergences. Divergences, signals ultimately. And same thing with Facebook. I mean, Facebook here by 11 o'clock was basically negative right here and has continued to stay weak, basically near the lows. So you have multiple large cap, big names. Many of the FANG stocks. Let's take a look at Amazon, speaking of which. Amazon's still holding up, but has rolled over a little bit, that are much, much weaker. And that was the first signal that, for me, caught my attention today. The other signal was, and if we go back to the spiders on an intraday basis, you have to look at the market trying to break through this 207 level. Look at the high, 206.87, and it was having a lot of trouble. So there is some resistance at 207 here. But what's more important to me was the rollover in oil today, and that's really where you saw the market start to lose traction. So oil kind of hovering here into the 200 moving average, hammering, tried to pop. Right on this pop is where actually the S&P made the higher high today. And then look at what happened. Stalled out, and then collapsed, and actually just made a lower low. And this sell-off here, and this little bounce, and then this subsequent sell-off, it matches the S&P or the SPY perfectly. So really what we're seeing is a market that had warning signals early with certain names not being as strong as you would think they would be with an up market. And then also the oil trade starting to go south. And here's that rollover. Oil rolled over at the same time right here. Markets came in, bounced, bear flagged it right here along the 20, now starting to break down. Interestingly enough, look at this upsloping trend line. Look at where this comes from. I think this is such cool stuff. All right, so you connect through here, you connect through this, and if we zoom back in time, it all goes all the way back to mid to late February. That pivot low. And we actually were above that today early on. All right, now this is a major level. We gapped above it, but look at how we're now coming back to earth. It's almost like jumping off the ground. All right, here's the ground. You jump off of it, and eventually you got to come back. In this case, it looks like you actually could come back in even further. Now, having said that, it's, many of the things I've said in this video kind of lead you to believe, oh, maybe there's a top in the market, maybe there's something going on here. I'm not sold on that just yet. I think we are very near, but I want to see, anytime you're a trader, anytime you're an investor, it's great to have speculation and say markets are overbought. We all know that, right? The S&P is up 15% basically in the last, 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so. But it's more important, all right, more important to see the charts here and understand that you need to see confirmation, what I call confirmation. If we get that confirmation, what would confirmation be? It would be a close flat today or negative, okay, and then another down day tomorrow. If you can get that reversal today and then confirmation being tomorrow's down day, it doesn't even have to be a huge down day, 50 to 100 points on the Dow would do it, but you get that, then you can start saying, okay, now we have a pivot top, now we start looking for significant downside, okay? All right, so anyways, bottom line is, folks, that's what we are seeing here, and I am looking forward to keeping you guys abreast of every situation here. Keep an eye on the dollar. The dollar is very, very important. Notice how the rollover, and this is very important, folks. We talked about the rollover in oil, right? Well, what happens when the dollar goes up? Generally, commodities roll over. So you could even trace the drop in oil, potentially, partially at least, to the rise in the dollar here, which tells us the dollar could actually be the key to this market. And again, the dollar rising pushes commodities like oil down. We know when oil drops, what does the stock market do? It starts to fall. So it could ultimately be, and again, it's not only that that's driving the oil trade down today, but it's partially that could be, again, contributing to this market's rollover. And again, real nice rollover here. If we go back to the spiders chart, take a look here. Just waiting for the data to come up. And there you have it, folks. And again, beautiful little rollover on the spiders here. Beautiful, beautiful little rollover. All right, folks, I will talk to you soon. Take care. Come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com.